back in. Today we're going to be discussing Kenneth Walker's 2024 fantasy outlook. Right now, he's currently being drafted at RB 16 or 44th overall in terms of Fantasy Pros ADP right now, and that is their PPR ADP. Now, last season, Kenneth Walker, under the old coaching staff, he had a 67% opportunity share. He averaged 14.6 carries and 2.5 targets per game last year. He had 905 rushing yards, 9 touchdowns, and he averaged 13.3 fantasy points per game. He was 20th in red zone touches. He had 10 goal line carries. He was third in missed tackles forced per attempt. So it was really solid there, and 24th yards after contact per attempt. Now, really, where I think we should be excited about is really something that I typically don't try to do, and that's falling into coach speak and listening to too much of what coaches are saying. But I will say it's really hard to ignore right now because it feels like every single day in camp they've done nothing but talk up Kenneth Walker at this point. They've talked about how they want him to be a true three down workhorse. That they believe that he has the skill set to be a pass catcher out of the backfield, and then they want to make him one of the main features of this offense. And so it's really hard to really ignore that. And you kind of go back to last year. I know this is a different team, but we were hearing all last offseason about Puka Nakua and Kyron Williams from the Rams, and we just really didn't listen to it for that much from the community. And it ended up being, we should have listened there. And this feels like another one of those situations that they're going out of their way to talk up Kenneth Walker, and it's not really reflecting in his ADP. Now, one area he has to get better at, and that's probably going to be in the passing game. He's a player who's never had above an 8% target share since he's been in the league so far. He was 38th in route participation last year, despite being 14th in yards per route run. I think he's actually a pretty solid pass catcher. He was also fourth in yards per reception last year. So I think he's somebody that can definitely catch passes and somebody that could probably utilize more in that department. It was actually Zach Charbonnet who was handling a lot of that last year, despite the fact he didn't really get targeted that much either. He also had a sub 8% target share. Zach Charbonnet really was kind of just meh last year as a running back, and being the second round pick. He was awful on missed tackles forced per attempt. He ranked 51st in that department, but he did tie Kenneth Walker an explosive run rate at 4.6. But Charbonnet led the backfield in snaps in 3 games last year while Kenneth Walker was hurt. He didn't really capitalize on it. Like, he was okay. 12.9 fantasy points, 9.8 fantasy points, and 16.9 fantasy points. Like, that's not terrible by any means, but like, it's not like he went out there whenever he had the entire backfield to himself and really showed out. And so there really hasn't been a lot of excitement about Zach Charbonnet. Like, there hasn't been anything negative said about him, but it just hasn't been the same, glaring reports that we've heard from about Kenneth Walker. I think lastly, the other thing that we should really be paying attention to is this offensive line. PFF has them ranked as the 31st offensive line heading into 2024, but I do think there's room for improvement here for this unit this year. I think the big key here is going to be Charles Cross and Abraham Lucas. Can they stay healthy, and can they improve upon 2 years ago, their rookie season, when they really impressed a lot of people and really played really well, where last year they kind of fell off, dealt with a lot of injuries. So if those two guys I think can really get back to being that, I think there's a real chance here this offensive line can be a lot better. They also have Connor Williams, who was the second highest graded center last year for PFF. They also went out and added Laken Tomlinson over the offseason as well, who, though, he has really struggled the last couple of years. But overall, I just think everything really stands out for Kenneth Walker to be able to put it all together this year and be his true breakout year. Like, I think 1,500 total yards, double-digit touchdowns, as well as the range of possibility. Like, the only thing we really need from him is to be more involved in the passing game. It doesn't have to be a drastic improvement. I mean, if he averages 3.5, 4 targets per game, I am thrilled with that. I think that really puts him over the top. So I think he checks all the boxes as a runner. He is one of the best runners in the league. A little bit more on the boomer bust side, but that being said, like, he has the ability, that home run hitting ability, to break off a long touchdown run anytime he touches the ball. I just love Kenneth Walker this year. I'm drafting him wherever I can. I have a lot of him on underdog. I think he's a very easy click at cost. And if you're wanting to wait on running back, I think he's somebody that you can go ahead and target. If you're going heavy wide receiver early, I've been doing a lot of mocks, and being able to get someone like Tyreek Hill or Amon-Ra St. Brown in the first round, and then coming back and getting like a Drake London in the second round. And then, I've had pretty good luck with getting either Amari Cooper or Mike Evans in the third round, or Nico Collins. Really love that start. And then coming back in the fourth round and grabbing somebody like Kenneth Walker is an absolute chef's kiss in terms of, roster construction there. I think this is a big breakout year coming for Kenneth Walker. So I'm all aboard the Kenneth Walker Express this year. So let me know in the comment section below, what are your thoughts on Kenneth Walker? We'll see you on the next one.